We're rolling already. It's Crossing Lines for a Tuesday. No better place to be than right here, right now. We got you. It's 12 p.m. Eastern to 1:30 p.m. Eastern. It's myself, Donnie Rightside. It's Joe Lisi. And are you ready to look smacks the people out here? Other shows can't compete, Joe. Yesterday, a lot of fun. It's day number 2, man.
This is great. Yeah. I mean, we saw World Cup action yesterday. We saw Brazil take care of business against Japan. How about the kids from Morocco and Paraguay knocking out Germany? I mean, unbelievable matchups. We hit it with the baseball. We killed it. We'll get into that a little bit later, but we have great action on tap, and we have Flash coming with us. Nothing better. We're about 60 days away, too. I'm going to keep beating this drum for college football 2026.
Week 0, Joe. Week 0 college football with Joe Lisi coming up. It'd be like the 1930s right there, letting the people know exactly what's going to take place. Now, yesterday, we did have a fun show. And just to set the table for this show, Flash is going to join us in a couple minutes here. We're going to get all the World Cup highlights from yesterday, which were fantastic, what we can look forward to. And also, we don't have Flash on Wednesday. I need his approach for the U.S. game on Wednesday against Bosnia and what that means. And by the way, hint, hint. I saw Flash putting out a tweet out there that he does have a parlay out there that includes Team USA, which I love to see. But yesterday, Joe, I like going sometimes you try to get some viral tweets and stuff. And thank you for the people out here that are watching the show every single day, more subscribers here. We're on a ton of different platforms, but I like to now mess around, Joe, and make my own cuts. So I put a couple out there. We had OJ, we had some looks maxing, we had Bitcoin Joey. Did you know the looks maxing cut got the most attention yesterday? Course. The people want more looks maxing out here.
Well, they love Clav. That's what it's all about. I mean, do you have the jawline? Do you have what it takes? Do you have the cheeks? Do you have the look to head into the summer for the beach, especially right here on the East Coast? That's what it's all about. And we talked about Sean McVay looks maxing with his wife on the Caribbean. Yeah. There's nothing better. But again, this is what it's all about. And again, Clavicular gets views. He gets looks. I tell you, I'd love to hang out with him.
We're going to get him on? Can you reach out and get Clavicular on? What about, again, androgynous? Who's the other guy?
Funny story before we have Flash come on. Yeah. No joke.
Okay.
My daughter's friend's mother is in one of the videos kissing Clavicular.
No, I saw the video.
Okay.
I saw the video.
Okay, so my daughter was friends with that girl, and there you go. So we hit it up over the weekend. I watched the video. I spent 11 hours with that individual in New York City, driving me absolutely crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, there's Clavicular, there's Neon, then there's Joe Lisi, and it's Donnie Rightside. Going to go hand in hand. Maybe a 24-hour live stream in your near future, Joe, but other things like to talk about as well. We got in yesterday to a little Joey Bitcoin. Bitcoin smashed again today, Joe. Yeah. Are we going to zero? That's all I want to ask.
I don't think we're going to zero, but they're going to force potentially Michael Saylor into a dinghy pretty soon, right? I mean, that's what it is. They are smashing. Yeah. Blood is in the water for Michael Saylor right now. And again, we talked about how that investment potentially will work out. A lot of people, it's mixed reviews. People think that they could force him out due to leverage and borrowing on the Bitcoin. He claims that's not the case. I guess only time will tell. But if you're owning MicroStrategy right now, you are getting smashed. It got as high as, I think, $400-$500 when Bitcoin was rallying, and now it's under 100 and keeps going lower. It'll probably keep going lower straight through July 4th. But again, not a financial advisor. Gamble and obviously invest at your own risk.
Invest at your own risk. By the way, do you remember the fun we used to have when the word got out, which wasn't true, that Trevor Lawrence's entire contract was on Bitcoin, and by the end of it, he owed the Jacksonville Jaguars money? That's good stuff right there, Joe. Getting paid in Bitcoin.
That financial advisor was right, because he bought Bitcoin at 19,000 and it went to like 100. So I don't know if Lawrence kept a portion of his portfolio in Bitcoin. He should have did well, but I guarantee you maybe that financial advisor got canned, and then they got somebody else. But it was the right move in the beginning, but we'll see. How about this receding news that broke yesterday with the body cam?
Body cam's out here. Look, let me tell you something. When you're a reporter, Joe, you learn tricks of the trade where you got to use what you got to get what you want. So we got that teaser coming up as well. And today, Joe, is NBA free agency.
Love it.
You are going to see some checks written that you can't believe, but more importantly, and again, we just give a little teaser here. LeBron James, is he on the move? Anthony Davis on the move? They're going to join forces in Golden State. We got a lot of that good stuff coming up, Joe.
Come on. I mean, Look, on paper, it sounds great if you could get LeBron and AD, but is AD even involved? Is he focused? He's got his show with the pranks. It's almost like a punk show. You ever watch that, by the way?
No, he has a punk show? Goodness.
He has undercover like prank show. It's on one of the networks. I don't know exactly which one, but and he pranks Major League Baseball.
What's he on, Tubi? Is he on a like a fast network? Like, where is that?
No, he's on a major network. Fast channel, coming to a fast channel near you, right?
By the way, Joe.
Hey, Donnie, winning together, baby.
Winning together, me and you and the chat box already popping off here. Love this stuff here. And again, if you watch, you might be watching on Rumble right now. By the way, Joe, I have on one of my screens, like when I click, I go to like Crossing Lines Media and hit it all, man. Like I follow it. Like I'm on right now, Crossing Lines here on YouTube, 427 subs, up every single day. I take a look on Rumble as well. Now I'm going over to the Twitter account, which we now have 277, which is up almost a dozen from yesterday. So growing this out, the TikTok. By the way, my goal today as well, I'm going to start putting out more content on TikTok also. Like, I spent a lot of time, and everybody knows behind the scenes, like, I'm tweeting all types a day, at Crossing Lines, left and right across the board as much as I can to get things out here. That's what I want, people. I want us to grow together, Joe. I feel like I'm doing my part, and you're joining in as well, love.
Oh, this is it. I mean, I'm taking over while Jeff is out there in Vegas. We wish Jeff the absolute best. We hope he kills it.
By the way, we got breaking news right now.
Breaking news.
My buddy Scott behind the scenes alerted me, just went to Twitter. LeBron James has informed the Los Angeles Lakers that he will play elsewhere in 26, 27, Joe.
He's gone. So where does he go? So where's he going? Golden State? Is he staying in LA? Is that it?
Where's he going? Is he going to Cleveland?
To the Knicks?
Is he going where is he going here? I don't know, but he told them. This is why I love it, man. Free agency is live today. We're on the air. And you know what the best part about it is? Shams Charania himself said, you know what? We gotta hold. You know what? Hold on. We gotta hold off and get it. Make sure the boys have their information. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I'll do.
You got Shams?
I don't really have anything for Shams. I really can't do a Shams here.
Unless he's just a robot out there.
Like I don't have a good Shams look. By the way, that's big news right there.
That's huge news.
So wait, Bronny, his contract was guaranteed with the Lakers for $2.3 million. Daddy's out of town.
That's it. No security blanket. He's on his own. He's going to get chopped. Bronny's not on the list. They're going to cut him. I mean, really. You cut the fat. The old man's gone, and now you cut the kid. I mean, the kid was Bronny was only there because of his father. We know that. I mean, really, he was pathetic. I mean, what do you average down the stretch? Like 3 points per game? Missed multiple shots.
Let me go to some predictive markets right here, Joe, to see what we have. Oh, here, right up on the board, Joe.
God.
73% chance. Golden State Warriors now. 17% Cavs, 3% Lakers, which you told him he's leaving, so I don't know how that would even be a good contract for you there. 1% Heat. 73% on the Warriors. Do we see? By the way, there's people floating around the Atlantic right now on cruise ships that are losing their mind right now. Gotta be, Joe. Gotta be. You know?
That's it. We have big fans of LeBron. Yeah, that's it. They're gonna. The trip is probably over. No honeymoon there. But look, if LeBron does move on, doesn't he want to win a championship? He's not going to win a championship with Steph Curry in that aging lineup in Golden State, with or without AD. I mean, they're a team that's over 30 and hasn't stepped up against the younger competition in the West. I don't see this team with LeBron being like now the team to beat. It's still OKC. It's still some of the others that we see. San Antonio, obviously, Wemby. These other teams have such a young foundation that in order for Golden State to compete, Donnie, they need young kids that they don't have right now, and they don't even have the money to get them.
Just breaking news. We are a live show, which I absolutely love this type of stuff that comes and you can transition to gears. Now, just a few moments, we're going to bring in Flash Watson here to talk some World Cup, but I do want to let the people know as well. After Flash, we got a nice little breaking news segment. We're going to slide that LeBron James thing right in there. I don't know if anybody behind the scenes, while we have that 20 or so minutes, grab one of those clips out there that we can just put up and sort of go over, the Shams Charania tweet or whatnot. That would be fantastic stuff, but that's the big news story of the day. Free agency in the NBA popping off officially especially just when crossing line starts today. That's how it gets done. But also, Joe, we got 3 World Cup games today. Ivory Coast, Norway at 1 o'clock. France and Sweden at 5 o'clock. Mexico and Ecuador tonight here. So let's not wait any further here. We need a professional. We need a guy that's been there and done that to help us out. And that guy is Flash Watson, and he is on crossing lines. Flash!
Donnie, Jeff's never looked so well. What's going on?
He looks max in here, Flash.
That's unbelievable. That's a Ozempic advert right there. That's unbelievable. Gentlemen, it's nice to be with you, and what a World Cup it's been so far. Obviously, I'm keeping my loyalty as far away from England as possible.
Wow. Now, by the way, Flash, this is Joe Lisi. Joe Lisi, this is Flash. We're going to have a good time. Flash is an awesome guest to have. Want to have some fun. And I said, been there, done that before at the biggest stages. However, Flash doesn't root for England, which I'm surprised. That's his home country, Joe. How about that?
That's incredible.
But it doesn't bring me any money.
Well, Flash,
a couple stones.
They're 7-1 now to win the cup. You don't like them?
There should be 77-1. There's more chance of LeBron going to OKC.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, by the way, LeBron James news breaks there. Interesting stuff. We'll get back to that. But I need Flash on the World Cup today. And also, more importantly, what happened yesterday, Flash? When we talk about non-soccer fans, if you can't watch what happened yesterday and absolutely enjoy the game in the biggest moments and the national pride, you go from the elation of scoring goals, the devastation of missing penalty kicks. And Flash, before we get into the 3 games yesterday, which some of them did end in penalties, give me your thought process on when you get to that process with so many things on the line for your country. Oh, I can't believe you missed it. The pressure, I don't even think, Flash, I could swing my leg in that spot.
No, listen, as far as I'm concerned, I was a striker, so it was the easiest way to score a goal. It was an absolute gimme. The biggest one is, do not change your mind. Go through your process, and basically, a penalty is just a misplaced pass. Anywhere on the pitch, if I pass to you, but it's 2 yards to the side of you, then you're not stopping it, and it just goes straight into the net. Don't try and complicate the issue. I saw 2 or 3 people that I thought actually changed their mind on their run-up. Wow. And listen, 99 times out of 100, when you coach kids, do not change your mind when you take a penalty. For me, it was just another way, or an easiest way to score a penalty. It's like a one-on-one, but the keeper's stationary. So, yeah, loved taking penalties and did all right as well.
Flash, we saw 2 of the games, to your point, go to shootouts right down to the wire. When you look at the field from the top teams to just the rest of the field, is the gap starting to narrow when you saw yesterday's action, or you still believe the top teams are more dominant than the rest of the field?
Oh, listen, there's a massive gulf. There's a massive gulf. Yesterday we had the good, the bad, the ugly. We had 2 really good sides in Japan and Brazil, and it was a classic. Looked like it was going to go all the way. But then there's that fear of winning and the fear of losing that we saw in that game, because Japan went 1-0 up, and then obviously they threw it away at the end with the Martinelli winner. Then we had the ugly of Paraguay matching Germany, but man for man on the pitch, they shouldn't have matched them, but they did. And the reason they did it is because they all stuck together as a collective. And then the bad was the Netherlands playing 5 at the back against their DNA, against everything that had got them there, against one striker. And Morocco became semi-finalists in the last World Cup. They have the belief that if they keep doing what they're going to do, then they're going to get rewarded. And they were. They were by far the better team. And football was the winner, because the Dutch, Netherlands, were horrendous, that they were almost beaten before the first whistle, because they changed their whole setup, everything that had got them there, and they got what they deserved, which is playing home, Morocco go through.
Look at that. Amazing stuff that happened yesterday. Expanded tournament here. Much more games. 3 more games on the docket today, Flash. 1 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Eastern, and 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll get it started here. And just taking a look at some of these odds that have currently been on the move. We're going to be live in 45 minutes with World Cup action. Ivory Coast and Norway, Flash. And I'll start the conversation with this. Haaland's out there. Does he score? And does Norway go through?
I'm not so sure they go through. I think he gets his chances. I think there's goals in this game. I think both teams want to attack. Now, this is wants to attack if they go out and play exactly what we've seen in the first 3 games of the group stages. But don't change what got you there. And this is what we're saying about the fear. Oh, no, fortune favours the brave. I see both teams scoring. I see over 2.5 goals. Listen, this could be like a real classic of maybe a 2-2. I don't see either of them taking a backward step because they need to score goals. If they're going to score goals, they've got to get on the front foot. So I wouldn't like to pick the winner, but I do think there's goals.
Flash, France and Sweden. France now the favorite, just odds-wise, right up there with Argentina. What does Sweden have to do tactically to potentially pull out this upset against France today?
Joe, they're not good enough. They're not good enough. This is like 2 years ago. This is Eagles versus the Cards. This is just, they'd have to sneak 6 players onto the pitch and play 17 versus 11. Now, this is all that France want to do. I'm not sure Sweden even score, but France and Argentina, for me, they're above anything else in this competition because they've got 2 players for each position. They've got freshness. They've got a hunger. They're competitive within each other. And the best 2 players for the Swedes are their strikers or their forward-thinking players in Gyökeres and Isak. But Graham Potter, who was my old teammate, he's manager. I wouldn't let him bake me a cake. Honest to God, he's just, no, please, you've had a good time. France win comfortably. I think they win by 2 clear goals. I think France win to 0 is probably another way to go.
Hey, Flash, let me ask you a question, too, because as we can equate this to any sport, regular season basketball, playoff basketball, regular season Major League Baseball, postseason Major League Baseball. Yeah. First round, their knockout stage, the better teams can pretty much roll the soccer ball out there, and then they're probably going to advance and pick up a win or 2. Does the pace of play change? Because just looking at the scores yesterday, going all the way through, is it less aggressive, more feeling out now? What's the difference now for, quote, playoff stage, knockout stage soccer?
Well, again, I think fortune favours the brave. I think we saw all elements of it yesterday. Japan were very, very good. And then they went into a hole because they went 1-0 up and tried to protect. Then the Brazilians, who love to play on the front foot, but their weakness is at the back, that wasn't exploited, and they came out 2-1 winners. Forget Paraguay. Paraguay were only ever going to win if it was on penalties. Then the big one was that the Netherlands, who score goals for fun, they have many goal scorers. They attack on the right, they attack on the left. Started the game with 5 defenders against 1 Moroccan striker. They handed the initiative to Morocco, who did not need to be asked twice. Listen, it was a coin flip type game. Anyway, listen, the favourite was like plus 135, telling you that there was no clear-cut favourite, and yet in the game, it was only ever going to be Morocco, even though it took a late equaliser before it went to penalties.
Yeah, they played great yesterday.
Yep,
I was just going to say they played great yesterday. No,
they're a good side. They're really good.
By the way, that France-Sweden game, heavy favorite there for France, no question about that. A little bit closer on the Norway game. We'll get to Mexico in just a few moments. But coach in the chat box, and I'm going to pronounce this correctly, Flash, Dembele to score plus 122. How do you like that pronunciation there, Flash?
Yeah, Moussa Dembele. But he got a hat-trick in the last game. This is the problem you got with France, is that Mbappe scored 4 in the first couple of games. Then Dembele scores a hat-trick. Mbappe assists. And then on top of that, you've got Elise, you've got Doué, you've got Barcola. And the bigger one for me is the unsung heroes of the midfield like Tchouaméni and also Rabiot, who just want to break up the opposition's momentum and give it to the boys who play. You know me, there's piano carriers and there's piano players. And the piano carriers, they dominate the game and give the ball to the boys that then finish off with goal opportunities. So France are so good. France have got too much. I'll be surprised if Sweden score. France win to 0. Predicted score is as much as France want to do.
Flash, is there one player in this tournament today that has the most pressure on him, or from your aspect needs to step up potentially for one of these teams to get the victory?
Yeah, not in the games today, because basically they're just going out and enjoying themselves, and they've all produced. This is the other thing. Having a World Cup in America is the massive marketing opportunity for anybody. And if you have a look from Messi, from Mbappe, from Haaland, from Dembele, and then obviously we're looking for Ronaldo to actually join the party.
Now, Flash, as we take a look, sort of that home country advantage. Now, Canada already through the knockout stage. They didn't play that game in Canada. They played in Los Angeles. Heavy crowd support there. But maybe none bigger than the Mexican crowd that's going to be there tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Mexico going to take on Ecuador. Estadio Azteca. That place is going to be rocking. We have a couple videos that we're going to have some fun with on the trending section showing that Mexican fan base trying to disrupt Ecuador and their team as much as possible. Talked about Mexico tonight. El Tri going down in their home country here, looking to advance.
Yeah, the Mexico fans have been absolutely brilliant. They've been the 12th and the 13th man, to be fair to them, because Mexico are Billy average. I mean, they do not create many. They don't let in many. And by the way, what a setting for any football match, especially in the World Cup, is the Azteca. That's where the World Cup final should be for me, because everyone would love to be 1970, 1986, and then 2026. They've missed an opportunity because it's the best venue for a World Cup final. Mexico versus Ecuador. Ecuador got the biggest gap between ceiling and floor. Floor to ceiling, they could beat anyone, they could lose to anyone. I see this being very, very tight, and only if you love football are you going to love this game, because I think this goes all the way to penalties, so you're going to have to wait 2 hours for the excitement.
Wow, it should be great. When you look at the side for Brazil, right, biggest threat moving forward for Brazil, do you see a team that could challenge them?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, then they're not that great. I mean, they are like an above-average Premier League side. And defensively, listen, I think Scotland had maybe 10 or 12 good opportunities or good situations that they didn't capitalise on. They obviously went down to Japan, and Japan sat back for an hour. Yeah, listen, it's all about France on one side of the group. It's all about Argentina and maybe Colombia, because that'll be a great matchup as well. But Brazil, I've got them probably ranked 5 or 6, to be honest. They love the gold shirts, and the only reason that they're mentioned is because of their name is Brazil.
Taking a look, Flash, at some of these totals in these games here. Game number 1, Norway and Ivory Coast, 2.5. I'm seeing France and Sweden, 3.5. Over under Mexico, Ecuador, 1.5. If you had one game today, Flash, that you felt you had a real strong side on going over or under, which one of those 3 games would it be for you?
I'll bookend. I'll go over in the first one and under in the, I think, 0-0. So, again, if one of the teams goes 1-0 up in that last game, I think both teams are scoring over in the Ivory Coast Norway game, because if one of them goes out, the other one won't make a backward step. They'll be fighting tooth and nail to get back into it. But Mexico and Ecuador, it's 0-0. And if it's not 0-0, then one of them's 1-0, and then they're going to park the bus.
Flash, when you look at this big picture, like Morocco, right? They get the victory last night. We think about them as Cinderella, but do they legitimately, potentially, from the odds perspective, have a chance to maybe get there?
I don't think so. Because I think they're very good. I think they're at least equal with Brazil. I like a Brazil-Morocco game. You asked me to who wins. I wouldn't be able to tell you if both of them turn up on their day, because Morocco have an abundance of belief, an abundance of togetherness, and they've been there, seen it, done it, and only fell at the final hurdle in the last World Cup. So I don't think they go all the way, because I think that France and Argentina are elite, because, listen, they've been on the road for a whole month, and some of these players are still going to be fresh in 2 weeks' time.
Updating the World Cup odds here. Flash, France is still that favorite here at a plus 240 price. Argentina around 4-1 here. Spain 6-1. England at 7-1. Is it still, I'm going to ask you this every time, Flash, is it still France for Flash Gordon?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I got like plus 650. And I tell you, the big bet that I did do on Sunday was Argentina to reach the semis at like minus 120. It's minus 175 this morning.
Wow. Wow. Okay. What about the Golden Boot, Flash? Anybody? I mean, I know you don't like Brazil, but this Vinny Jr., as I like to call him, if they get there, could he get it?
Got a big price.
I think you only look at, listen, it's Mbappe or it's Messi, because the thing is with Argentina's route, they can score 3s and 4s. When you look at France have got 4, 5, 6, 7 players who can potentially score goals. So I think they'll be shared out. I think the winning number's 9. So you're asking me, does Messi score 3 more? I think it goes to Messi.
Wow. Amazing stuff here as we go over. By the way, we did have a question which maybe they weren't paying attention to or not here, Flash, but the question comes in here. Flash, is Ecuador possibly a live dog today?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, without a doubt. There's no difference. In fact, if Ecuador put their front foot forward, they could go and win the game. If they're going to win the game, they're going to win it 1-0. They could go and win it on penalties. I just think that Mexico are going to show them so much respect. And again, both of these sides don't really want to go 1-0 down. They're not really built to come from behind. So for me, I think it ends in a draw. It goes all the way to penalties. But yes, Ecuador are more. I can't even believe they're a dog. I would get rid of the draw because that's the most obvious and be minus 110 each of 2.
Wow. Is this the best when you look at just the action up until the round of 32 and obviously where we are right now? Is this one of the best tournaments that you've seen over the past 10, 15 years?
Well, it's a standalone, isn't it? Because we've never had 48 teams, and 20 of them teams would never even sniff a World Cup.
Right.
48. We've now basically what happened on Sunday was South Africa versus Canada. That's when the tournament normally starts with 32 teams. So now all of a sudden, and the people say, oh, there's been so much more goals. There's 50% more games. There's 50% more dead wood. But you've still got to hand it to the players. They've actually come out and, listen, Messi scored 6. Who's he scored against? Taking nothing away. You know I'm a massive Messi lover. Mbappe scored 4. Who's he scored? No. Who's he scored against? Dembele scores a hat-trick as well. And we've got Haaland on 4. What they've done is what they're paid to do. You score goals against dead wood. Now all of a sudden, in one half of the draw, there's really big sides who are going to match up each other, and there won't be 3 goals in the game. And then you've got on the other side of the draw when Argentina, they can name their number.
Got some fun stuff tonight also. Mexico and Ecuador. One of those games that you should be up for and watch because, Flash, when sometimes, again, if you are a non-soccer fan, I don't like soccer. When the fans are this involved with a team playing for stakes that are this high in their home country, it's much-watched TV. So I know we got a video here up on the screen. They're talking about Mexico and Ecuador there. There are the fans, Flash. Do you know what they're doing right there? That's Ecuador's team hotel where they are making sure they're not getting any sleep in preparation. So as you watch this video, also, who do you think scores the goal here from either side? Mexico. Is it Jimenez? Oh, here's what I love, too. There's Jimenez. And then there's Jimenez, the 2 favorites, Flash. Love to see that.
I'd go with no goal scorer.
Wow.
Because I'll tell you, there's always a trick to this. Because also, if there's an own goal, and we've seen a few of them, obviously 2 of the USA games have started with an own goal. But if there's an own goal, and that's the only goal in the game, or if your man scores the second goal, then you still win. But I think no goals, no goal scorer. I've gone with 0-0. I think that this is a tedious 120 minutes, and it all goes all the way to penalties. I'll be out of pocket if there's many goals in this game.
Now we'll see how it plays out. Let's turn our attention to tomorrow. U.S. and
Joe,
Bosnia.
let me just go back though.
Look at that, Joe. Don't interrupt the man, Joe. Let him go, Joe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How dare you,
turn
Joe?
into Jeff again. Then you
there
turn
you go.
into Jeff.
Love it.
Listen, I've experienced that. Outside hotels and that. In England, we had there's fireworks go off. The classic, and they're novices at this, the Mexicans, is the fire alarm goes off because then you have to get up out of your bed and then go down into the car park. I'll tell you a quick story. We was out. We weren't meant to be out. We came back to the hotel thinking, oh my God, how are we going to get through the foyer? The old fire alarm had gone off. All the players and staff were in the car park, and we just mingled back in as if we'd just come down from their bedrooms. And we got away with absolute murder. But they're novices singing. The boys will be having earphones on, plugs. They won't hear any of that. You've got to get the fire alarm because then they've got to get out.
That's it. You got to pull it. I love the tactic, especially if you bet or gamble on the game. They're trying to rile them up. That's it. Did you see Paraguay made a national day for the upset yesterday over Germany?
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, but it just shows how easily they are pleased. Because listen, this is the problem you have with politicians. They're not long thinking. Because what happens if they go and win again?
Yep.
They're going to have another holiday.
They don't work enough for a month down there in Paraguay.
Exactly, they don't work enough as it is. Is it paid holiday as well?
Probably is. Why not? You get an upset like that. Can I go now to the U.S. game? Or no, you're just going to blame Donnie for that one. Flash, can I go to the U.S. and Bosnia?
Come on, let's go to what makes us money.
Is there more pressure on the U.S. now because they're looked at as potentially the Cinderella kids and seeing what has transpired over the course of this tournament?
We're certainly not ugly sisters. They've done absolutely brilliantly, and they've done exactly what has been asked of them. The crowd have done exactly what's been asked of them. And the beauty is here, and it doesn't matter about the Turkey game, is that they got to rest their players. They got to get some staleness out of some of the players' legs who have been sitting on the bench for 2 weeks. They have the energy of that crowd. They have pace. They have belief. And now all of a sudden, and I tell you this, I've actually experienced this, is when you do really well in a team and you come out and other players come in and then they don't do as well as you did, you go and you've grown a little bit more as well. Almost like, hey, stand aside. Let the big boys play. And I see them butchering Bosnia because all the weaknesses for Bosnia are that they're not energetic, they have no pace. And I tell you now, in the first 20, 25 minutes, they're going to have a rude awakening when the USA team butcher them.
Fast
Absolutely
and loose.
Fantastic.
Fast and loose.
As they like to
That's
play.
it.
By the way, Flash, let me ask you a question. Back when you played, was it Umbros? And what type of cleats did you wear back then?
Well, I was a Nike athlete. And I liked Puma. I was old school when I had Nike, I had Adidas World Cup, and I had Puma Kings.
Wow, I tell you.
Yeah.
Kangaroos, Donnie, we played with.
Ponies?
Yeah, no, kangaroos.
Oh,
remember?
kangaroos, yeah. You had the little pouch where you could put like a
Is
quarter
that in your private life you played with kangaroos?
Yeah, he did. Banana hammocks and kangaroos.
That's
Flash
it.
for Joe
I'm old
Lisi.
enough to Flash. I'm old, man. We played with the old school ponies and kangaroos back in the
Yeah,
day.
ponies. Yeah. No, I remember ponies because that was New England, 1985 against the Bears and pony AstroTurf trainers.
Yeah.
So, no, I remember them.
Look at that. He's Flash Watson bringing that heat for World Cup action. Flash, I'm excited. Look at that. USA to win the flat. Come on now. Put a little bit of your salary over there, 33-1 on the U.S. Represent. Can you do it? Are you going to do it?
Of course not. They get beat in the quarterfinal versus Spain. One step too far.
Man. I just wish Jeff was here. I hope they beat Bosnia and maybe the U.S. plays
Oh,
along. So
hope.
when Jeff comes back and we get angry.
Hope.
Yeah.
We'll have a day of mourning in the United States if they don't beat Bosnia.
Oh. Flash,
Terrible.
don't get us. That'll be the ratings will be down.
I think they
need
win
them
by
to keep
2
moving
clear.
on for the ratings. Yeah.
No, Donnie, I think they win by 2 clear goals.
A beautiful.
I've got this
So
3-0,
that's it.
3-1.
What a beautiful night. What a beautiful night.
Flash gave us the pick. Over, right? Alt over. We'll put 5 goals down.
No, you go
4-1.
with the spread,
4-1.
Joe. You go with the
Yeah.
spread, -1.5, because they could win 2-0.
Now you're learning, Joe.
That's it. All right.
Flash played the game at the highest level. Trust in Flash as we go. Flash Tuesday, another awesome time with you on the show. You got to meet Joe Lisi. He interrupted you. I put him in his place. And now Flash the legend can go off in peace today and watch some World Cup action. Flash, thanks so much for joining us today, man.
Hey,
Really
listen, have a
appreciate it.
great show, gentlemen. Enjoy.
You too, Flash.
There you go. See that, Flash?
Joe.
Don't you ever, Joe, interrupt legends like Flash.
I don't know what you're talking about.
do
You're-
it.
He
Disrespect.
gave the breakdown on the game,
Yeah.
and you're nudging me to ask him about the U.S. game. So I asked him about the U.S. game. I didn't know he was going to go
Got
back.
a great story
to talk
teed
about-
up, and you stepped all over him there. There goes your
that's all
Emmy.
right. I'm
Can
a
you get
bull in a
Emmys
china shop.
for viral stuff? And we can win some Emmys at this point.
Well, yeah, we can. I mean, again, if looks are a category, I think we kill it. No offense. I don't want to
Absolutely.
say anything.
Now, here we go. We're going to go to breaking news. That's our next segment right now. And we have a couple things lined up, but I think it's pretty important that we shift right up to the top. LeBron James on the move will no longer be a Los Angeles Laker. Why? Right when we came live on the air on Crossing Lines, moments after that, it was announced, Shams Charania, where the Lakers have been, there we go, look at that. The Warriors are going to attempt to sign LeBron James now away from the Lakers today. That's Evan Sidery with the report. So, Joe, just to set the table, LeBron James wakes up today around noon, tells the Lakers he's not going to play for them, which means LeBron will be a free agent and will be playing basketball. I want to say outside Los Angeles, because technically he can still play for the Clippers and not the Lakers, but that's shocking news that came down live, and that's going to add for some fun, because let me ask you this question too. Not where is he going to go. These things, Joe, tend to not linger. And I don't care what LeBron James says, he doesn't have his mind made up. He absolutely has his mind made up, Joe. Will he be on a different team by the end of the night?
100%. Yeah. I mean, you don't make this move and come out and inform the Lakers that you're moving on or
I don't
want
know
to be
where
a
I'm
part
going.
of it.
Get
Right. You
outta
don't know.
here.
He's already have talks. We know that this is already probably
Clipped it already,
set in
Joe. See the
motion.
clip right there, too? We already got it up for the people.
Yeah.
Live right
Can
there.
I-
This is what you get. Go ahead.
Can I say this though?
Yeah.
I don't think LeBron makes Golden State a contender. I'm sorry. I think he's at the end of his career. I know some will argue he's playing potentially his best basketball, at the age of 40 and beyond. I get that. And they want to compare him to Jordan. He's not Michael Jordan. All right. He's not. And Jordan did at the end of his career tail off with the Wizards back in the day. But this is completely a different aspect. When you look at LeBron James, again, with the low load management. When you look at this team with, Golden State as a whole, they don't have the killer instinct anymore. They can't take games over. Draymond Green was pathetic. He's not a dominant rebounder anymore. This team doesn't have the heart of a champion. They're hoping to patch it together with the veterans that are looking for another championship. It's just not going to happen. You have kids in the West that are hungry. You have SGA, you have OKC, you have Wemby now, and San Antonio, and Castle, and that young foundation, kids that are hungry to win a championship in their prime. There's no way the Lakers, Golden State can compete with those two teams right here, right now. I don't care who they get.
Yeah, taking a look at the live markets once again. We were talking at 70+% here that he was going to go to the Golden State Warriors. We do have a little bit of a buyback, Joe, in the marketplace. Golden State now down to 68%. Gaining steam is the Cleveland Cavaliers. So if we look, Miami Heat 9%, Lakers 2%. I always thought the interesting part was, LeBron James probably gets a strike against him if he is perceived to go chase championships at the end of his career. Forget about when he had to leave Cleveland to go to Miami, win championships, and then he eventually went back to Cleveland and won one, goes back to the Los Angeles Lakers, or goes to the Lakers, I should say, and wins one here. Like, if he goes to join like a super, like, I'm just going to play for the Knicks for like $2 million, or I'm going to go play for San Antonio for $2 million, whatever the veteran minimum is going to be, he gets a knock for that. So if we look, Golden State Warriors, that's not really chasing a championship to me, because if they add him and AD, I still don't think they're the favorite anyway. OKC full strength, and also San Antonio I take. The Cleveland Cavaliers is an interesting one because, Joe, when you talk about legacy, you can sort of play off of going home one last time, no?
Yes. I mean, that's obviously a look, right? LeBron, where he started his career, going back home potentially to win a championship. But again, between you keeping Donovan Mitchell that shoots 100 shots a game, is there enough basketballs to go around? I mean, it's unbelievable when Donovan Mitchell decides to take a game over. He shoots 70 times per game, hits 10 shots, and scores, 40 points, and they lose by 30. I mean, that is the problem with Cleveland. They got blown out. When you look at the series with the Knicks, they couldn't compete. And so, again, does LeBron make them that much better? He doesn't. I don't think so. Is he going to play enough? Is his body going to be able to deal with the regular season, whether he's on load management or not, and then go to the playoffs and take a team over? He's not Jalen Brunson now. I mean, he used to be the best player modern day, but he's not. He's not anymore. You got to call it what it is.
By the way, thanks for watching out there, guys, on Twitter. I know a lot of people watch the way I always hit the repeat. We had a lot of followers and a lot of views on that yesterday. YouTube channel building every day. So I do like to ask questions because I wish I had all the chat boxes combined into one. Okay. But where do the people in the chat box believe LeBron James is going to go next? Because the Warriors are the heavy favorite. And as Joe put now, I'm with him. I don't. This isn't. I know I don't really know. Nobody opts like, hey, I have no idea where my next job is going to be. I'm just going to leave mine. No, you don't. You know exactly where your next job is going to be. Otherwise, you wouldn't leave your job at that point. 68% here so far for the Warriors. 25% for the Cavaliers. Maybe we have one of those people or teams, I should say, that gets into the mix later in the day. But certainly, interesting, Joe, right off the top of crossing lines, LeBron James, a free agent, and we'll be playing elsewhere instead of Los Angeles. Now, also, we've had some other things pop up, Joe. And when you talk about all-star capabilities, all-star talent, but sometimes, as we say, a 10-cent head, that's Ja Morant. Guy comes into the pros, makes a ton of money, can't stay out of his own way, and now apparently been traded, of course, to the Portland Trailblazers in exchange for Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray. Like, you're talking about a couple years ago, this would be unfathomable, right?
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 first-round picks. Oh, my goodness, Ja's a superstar. Joe, they had to give this guy away.
Yeah, it's incredible what he did with his career, with the off-the-field situation, and just not, we talk about foundation and not surrounding yourself with the right people, and it's amazing. I'll put some pressure on these agents. They have no problem signing these kids when they're in college and beyond to these multi-million-dollar contracts. But if you do have a vested interest and a paycheck, these agents need to get involved as well and surround them. If you're going to be their first point of contact, getting them the deals and getting them $100 million, $200 million over, 5 or 6 years, how about you at least protect your investment and get these kids with the right people so that they don't get taken advantage of, and their careers don't go down the toilet like John Morant. He's like a has-been now, Donnie. He's not one of the best players in the league anymore. You thought one incident is good. Now, all of a sudden, multiple teams don't want him.
And also, like staying at that level, like the amount of money NBA players, and it seems like Jaylen Brown got like a $300 million contract. And now this summer, he's eligible for another 2-year, like $150, $60 million extension on top of that. Like if you just, you could say whatever you want, but as long as you stay clean, like you're not going to be arrested at any moment, that money train never stops. And it's just somebody get in his head because the talent was always there and it should have worked out in Memphis. Now you're banished to Portland in a franchise where an owner doesn't even want to get you like a 5-star hotel or get you a meal you probably got to pay for at this point. And now they're talking about, hey, Ja's going to match up with Damian Lillard. Get out. That's not going to do a damn thing, Joe.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's not, please. Damian Lillard, too. I mean, again, after the Achilles and coming back, I mean, what are you going to expect out of a 30-plus player that used to be able to shoot from midcourt just like Steph Curry? All of a sudden, he can't make a basket inside his house. It's ridiculous. But John Morant is a young player. And again, you talk about the money train. That's why I blame a lot of this on the agents. Again, they sign them and then they forget about them. Why aren't they involved in the foundation? At least, hey, get in his ear. You're gonna miss out on the money. They just take the money, they take the cut, and they move on. It's ridiculous. It really is. And again, he threw his whole career down the tubes because he can't stay out of trouble, and teams look at him as a detriment now.
Yep. Dave Mannion, my buddy's out here in the chat box here. Christopher Carter says, show is awesome, man. That's what we love to support. Building it every single day, having some fun here, and doing what we got to do to get you the information. And, of course, Looks Max and a couple shows out there while we get the job done here. How about this next story in the NBA? And this is great because free agency starts today. And I always say, Joe, sometimes the NBA is better in the offseason than it is on court here because the soap operas never end. Never could understand this. Kawhi Leonard gets traded, Joe, from San Antonio to Toronto. He's there one season. He wins a championship. They could have put a statue of him all the way out from BC all the way over to Quebec in every single, town there. Oh, Canada's own. He doesn't want to stay. He wants to go to Los Angeles, play an anonymity, whatever how you pronounce that word. You know what I mean? An anomaly. How about that? For the Los Angeles Clippers. So he goes to the Clippers. Now we're reading there might be a reunion with the Raptors and the Clippers for him. What?
Donnie, I'm just going to tell you this about Kawhi Leonard, okay? As somebody who used to bet his rebounds throughout the regular season, the guy's allergic to the glass. And I know people that follow the NBA, but he's not a rebounder. The guy's 6'10". He's built like the Statue of Liberty. The guy's allergic to the glass. He doesn't use any body English, under the boards. These guys are like a glass house. Look at him. The guy's a weight room warrior, and he can't get more than 6 rebounds a game. Give me a break. If you're the Raptors, do you want this guy? I mean, they're just going off a legacy. He won us a championship 7 years ago, so bring him back home, and hopefully we catch lightning in a bottle. Get real. The guy's washed up.
You know what? It's a good point you bring up, too, because, when you look at players, like, you stay injured, Joe. That's always hey, can you count on the guy? Like, there are people that say, like, Joel Embiid in Philadelphia. Why don't you only play him 30 games a year and then get to the playoffs? You know why, Joe? Because when you have to play every other night in the playoffs, he can't do that no matter how much rest he has. And it just seemed for the Clippers, where they built a team of superstars, but just didn't have that team concept. But every single time they showed up to the playoffs, nobody felt like they were eligible to play because they were injured. So, hey, let's get Kawhi. And they'd be like, wait. Knicks Raptors second round, in the semifinals. Oh no, he's hurt and out. The expectations are he's not going to get healthy when you need him in the playoffs.
No. And you can't count on him as being the main cog for your offense or catalyst, right? You need another different type of player. I'll say this, again, if LeBron or even Kawhi were to entertain, to your point, going to the New York Knicks where they have younger talent and the big three, they have Kat, they have Josh Hart, and they have, obviously, Jalen Brunson, and you want to put LeBron or a Kawhi in that lineup to make another push at a potential champion, that's a different story. Curry, expecting Kawhi now to be the guy. We're going to get him for X amount, and he's going to be like the figurehead and the catalyst of our offense to win a championship. These people are crazy. These GMs and analytical people that break down an assessment is ridiculous. I don't know how they could view this. The guy can't stay on the court. He doesn't get rebounds, and in a big spot hasn't stepped up in the past couple of years.
By the way, I'm not going to hijack the show right now, but we got a question that I need saving in that chat box. So if anybody's watching behind the scenes can save this one from Coach SD that's on the screen right now, because I do want to get back to that. I don't even want to say the question. Just somebody remind me to go back and find Coach SD's comment here.
What is the question? Can I see the question?
Julian's going to save it behind the scenes. You can read it. It's in the chat box right now. You can read it. I'm not going to read it. But I got some good stories that we're going to come back to that question here. So timestamp that. We'll have some fun at the end of the show on that one here, Joe. But let's get to some more action because it's heating up once again in the NBA. Do you remember a guy that was minted, Joe, for a max contract in the NBA? He was playing for an Eastern Conference team. I'll tip the scales even more. He played for the Pistons and disappeared in the playoffs. It's like, how much money is this guy going to be worth now? Jalen Duren to meet with the Lakers and the Kings. Now that LeBron's gone, that's a lot more money that opens up from right here. But this guy, Joe, did himself no favors on the biggest stage.
No, again, you're talking about, everybody thought the Pistons were going to win that series, and they got absolutely smacked around in game number 7 of that series. But again, when you're talking about centers, again, maybe we're a little bit too old. But again, when I think about a center, Donnie, especially being in today's NBA where they don't play the type of defense that they did back in the 90s and obviously, early 2000s, you think of Shaq, you think of obviously Hakeem Olajuwon, you just think about big bodies being able, Ewing or some of the other great centers that we've seen during our time. Does Duran really move the needle for you, especially when he got outplayed in that series? To you, if he goes now and moves on, are you counting on this guy getting 50, $60 million?
Exactly. You want these guys to play big, and like Duren just didn't have it in the playoffs here and was one of those catalysts. Detroit came in as a top seed here, should have been able to move on, but not because this guy's putting up 8 points a game when it matters the absolute most at this point. Just kind of crazy to see all that stuff here.
I'd rather get a guy that does mediocre average in the regular season, but come playoff time as a playoff warrior, back in the day, and steps up when everything is on the line and has guts. Give me that guy as opposed to the guy that scores 25, 28 points during the regular season and gets pushed around in the playoffs. Which guy is worth the contract? I hate to say it, but that's what you have to value when you're especially thinking about big men.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's a good point here. And also, this is some stuff that we were loading up in the show, and this is what I love, doing things on the fly. It's get you flustered when things go here. Porzingis goes back to the Warriors, and the question was are they going to pursue LeBron James and what that means? It'll be interesting to see how things start to play out. And also, LeBron James was always under the assumption, if he was going to leave L.A., Joe, it wasn't to go play for the vet minimum. Now, hear me out on this. LeBron James has more money than God. Nobody's ever going to want to take, I'm going to take less money. Or I want to talk about, I can make $40 million or I can make $4 million.
Right.
He's at the point in his career, he doesn't need technically the money, even though he's going to take the money. I'm interested to see what absolutely winds up. Is it, I'm going to play for money and go sound like Memphis because they have the most money under the cap? Or do you sacrifice and say, hey, I'm going to allow the team to go and sign other players because I'm going to take less, and my legacy is going to be another championship or two?
Well, that's it. Legacy, right? Yeah. You mentioned it. We know he doesn't need the money. He's recognizably the face of the NBA still right now, right? Correct. Everybody thinks about LeBron. He's one of the top 3 best players all time. You could make the argument. But the problem is where does he want to go? Again, if he's going with Steph Curry, is he staying close to home for potentially business interests, or is he staying close to home because he believes Golden State is his best option to win a championship? Again, when you look at the pieces around them in LA, they got boat raced in multiple playoff series, Donnie. So again, looking at that foundation, do you believe the Golden State Warriors have a better foundation to what some of these other teams have? No. And they're aging and they're old. But does he want to be reunited with players like Steph Curry and some of the other big names? But that's my point.
I think
No,
LeBron's
but
going
what does
there.
it bring you? What does it bring you?
You know what's interesting about the whole thing, Joe? Do you remember all like the hugs on the court for the Golden State Warriors, like Draymond Green,
Yes.
Steph, and Steve
Yes,
Kerr?
like it's over. Like
it
it's
was over. It's over. And then all of a sudden, like Kerr was back. He had to get some phone calls from players around the league like LeBron James saying, you know what, hold on here, I'm coming at this point, as opposed to him sticking around. So that's what I would say, like, the fact that I would be absolutely shocked if LeBron James doesn't end up a Golden State Warrior at this point. I absolutely would, because I think that's probably been agreed upon. He's always said how much he wanted to play with Steph, and away you go at this point. And question pops up, is Golden State winning the next championship? Never. Put that vote in there for me.
No,
never.
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
If you're on a predictive market, I would sell it. I mean, again, we talk about the overreaction with Myles Garrett and the LA Rams, right? There's only one place for the Rams to go, and that's down, right? When the market overexceeds so much and they're a significant favorite, I can't bet it at that particular move, right? I'd rather wait till it sets back. Same thing now with LeBron James's move to either Golden State or, to your point, Cleveland. That market overreaction is all of a sudden going to push multiple people, the casual bettor in. And I'd rather wait until the market settles in, or until maybe the season starts, and then you get a better price.
Yeah. By the way, other free agent trackers here, everybody back with the team. Champagny, Landry Shamet, Wiggins, Dort, and Ayton all stay there with their squad. So throughout the day, we'll be updating this stuff as it goes down, but just massive news out here. And also, Chris Haynes, a beat writer on X, Joe. The Cleveland Cavaliers have interest in a second reunion with LeBron James, with the appeal of the franchise's greatest player finishing his career where it all started. So that's where we'll put that cap on. But look at that. Money to be made today, Joe. Just tell those guys not to invest in Bitcoin or any.
No, don't.
Yeah.
Although maybe you buy the dip. Who knows? Herder's another one, too. Every time I would bet Herder throughout the regular season, guy was non-existent for threes.
Look at
There's
that.
certain guys that kill me throughout the regular season. It's amazing.
7 votes out here, Joe. Never Golden State Warriors winning that championship here as we go at this point. You ready, people, for some top stories that we can get into right now? Because you'll like these. And these are the ones that I appreciate, where it's like, you know what? I got a lot of money coming in through my contract here in the NBA. Let me see if I can win a few $100 on a parlay or two. Shams Charania with a tweet. 9-year NBA veteran Malik Beasley has been indicted on federal charges for gambling related to a sports betting scheme such as point shaving, prop bets. His attorney, Steve Haney, tells ESPN. The government is coordinating a volunteer surrender of Beasley this week. And as you see the tweet up there from TMZ as well. Joe, these guys got a lot of money, throwing away their careers for nothing here.
Donnie, it's ridiculous. But as somebody who bet Terry Rozier throughout the NBA, and I'm like, is this guy unbelievable? Every time I would take his prop bet, he was hot and cold week to week. But let me just say, no, I did. It was ridiculous. You could ask Carver every night on the show. But when you look at Malik Beasley, now another player, and I understand it's not the marquee guys. We're not talking, obviously, Jalen Brunson, Wemby. We're not talking about those marquee names. But these are still NBA players making in excess of $20 and $30 million, and it's not enough. It's all cash is king. We always talk about that, right? All right, I have $20 million in equity in real estate. That's not good enough. They want the bags of cash, Donnie. So they want to play poker. They want to do all this stuff, and they never think that it's going to come down to them, or they never think that they will get caught for somehow, some way. It's ridiculous how this situation's played out. But I guarantee you this, it goes deeper than these two guys.
No, I'm telling you, man, it's so wide open where it's like, you can't do this. But I always say this as well, Joe. Like, laws don't matter to certain people. They're always going to do things. Hey, it's illegal to drink and drive. Thousands a day get pinched for drinking and driving. Hey, you know what would work well? Let's just make murder illegal. People kill each other every single. We're human beings. We are flawed human beings. So when you say, I don't get it. This guy, Rozier made $100 million in his contract. And it's like, hey, I want my buddies to make 30 grand, so I'm going to go to jail for it. Like, people do stupid things every day.
They do, of course. It's the old Scarface thing. Motto. First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the woman.
And then you put the signature of women on your back of your jeans, right on chicks' asses, as they like to say.
But that's what happens, though. That's what happens again when you're now that with NIL. Right, with these kids making from high school $8, $9, $10 million before they even step on a court or a football field. They're invincible, right? And then you go to the NBA and you're a player like Cade Cunningham or some of the Wemby, right? Where you hit the ground running and all of a sudden you're a Rookie of the Year candidate. You're making how much money? But again, why do you have to get involved? Malik Beasley and some of these other guys, the endorsement deals, you need money, you need cash. You're telling me your agent can't get you an endorsement deal at a local car dealership for a couple $100,000? It's not fun.
You know, it's easier, Joe, just to give your buddies a couple racks, like instead.
But let me ask you this: why not? If you want that hit. Right, with the gambling, then why jeopardize your career? Just take $200,000, go to either AC or Vegas.
Look at this video, Joe. You see this video I was playing?
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this.
Where he went.
Now you tell me right now what's going on. Look at that D, Joe.
What was it? 5.5.
Look at the day. Come on, man.
He's flying like Superman.
Man, where are you going in a meaningless moment, man?
Just want to know, where is that effort when I'm having the 6.5? Or 7.5? Can I get that type of effort? I get the effort. Jesus. They pull it back. Oh,
it's unbelievable
crazy
stuff. You ready for this? And I know, Joe, you love college football here, so we're going to get a little college football roots back. Lions released Terrion Arnold. Why? He's got $1 million bond. He's doing really bad things. And if you're not playing cornerback like you're Sauce Gardner, they are going to release you. And he was released here and now. Looking for a new cornerback, but look at that, Joe. 4 charges of armed robbery, 4 charges of kidnapping. That's hard to get out of in this day and age, Joe.
8 felonies, Donnie.
8 felonies.
Here's the good thing, though. The good old mad scientist, Nick Saban, wrote a letter of recommendation.
What was his recommendation? Now, wait, Joe, let me hear it.
Kid made a mistake. It's not that bad.
You say stuff like, felonies. Hey, did you put in a good word for the job? Yeah, I did. Meanwhile, you backstab the guy like, this guy's a punk, don't hire him. Did he send a letter to the judge that says, you know what, just lock this guy away for life? He's a bum.
It's amazing. It's unfortunate, but Nick Saban's dealt with it with Terrion Arnold and Henry Ruggs, right? With the drunk driving and how his career went down the tubes. But I will say this again, Terrion Arnold made poor choices, and I keep putting the blame on a lot of these agents. They have no problem taking the 3%, 5%, 10% cuts on endorsements. Step up and have an influence. Otherwise, don't be involved in the business. They're all greedy. They're all scum, a lot of these agents, and that's what happens. But I will say this. Take it deeper about the Lions. Yeah. I think they punched themselves out. Their window of opportunity now has passed. They were, just like Cincinnati, a losing organization. They had their time in the sun with Dan Campbell. Now they're going the other way. I'm telling you, their defense sucked. It sucked with Aaron Glenn as defensive coordinator. It's going to be worse now without Terrion Arnold.
Yeah, it's the funny part about it, too, is, that whole Detroit mantra of we go for it no matter what. And I always call it, affectionately, Dan Campbell, as a absolute rockhead who's the last coach I would want. You want him to get ready your football team? He's like Coach O. Coach, you're going to be the head coach, but don't you dare put in a game plan. Just get the players we need, fire them up, and keep an eye on them, and we'll win championships. And LSU put together one of the greatest teams we've ever seen. But it's almost like the same way where you look at it and say to yourself, you know what, Dan Campbell, get the team ready, but somebody else is going to call the plays, because when their play caller left for Chicago, that hurt that football team here, because for me, I caught so much heat, Joe, by the way, on Twitter, when I was talking about Dan Campbell saying, you should fire him to keep your offensive coordinator at this point. You can't do that. Well, I would have.
Well, I mean, that's one way.
Over there in Chicago.
Donnie's way of getting things done is a little unorthodox, and not the common. But here's the bigger picture, though, Donnie. You're right about Ben Johnson and the great success he had in year one, and obviously coaching up Caleb Williams. But when you look at Detroit, they're probably, and I know we've gotten into these arguments and debates about Jared Goff. Look, love him or hate him, he still produces. I understand potential offensively, he's not, this elite quarterback. But again, from accuracy and in certain games, he's better than most. That's not the issue. The issue is the defense. Again, with Hutchinson and that front seven, they wore down at the point of attack, and teams now exploited them over the top. And when you look at the body of work, the offense slowly regressed now without Ben Johnson. They're still at a level that they can win football games. But when your defense sucks, you can't take games over. And that's the problem. They don't have a defense like Seattle where you could say, okay, Ben Johnson could be missed. They need to score 40 points a game to win those games in the playoffs. And it's unfortunate. Again, they might get to the playoffs as 10-7, 9-8. But I think there's other teams to beat in the NFC, obviously.
All right, let's get to the breaking news that we need as well in these top stories, Joe. That's Diana Rossini, breaking news from yesterday. Police cams are out. And when you are a reporter and you want to get information, Joe, you want to do everything in your power to get that information, if that includes the traffic stop here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Dropping knowledge.
Oh my
Now, the one thing that we got to go over, Joe, is I don't know if it happened or not, but apparently I don't think she called like Vrabel to talk to the cop. That was first reported, which is insanity.
Yeah, it is insanity, but there's a couple of things here. This took place in Ridgewood, New Jersey, which I
was at Barback in Ridgewood, New Jersey in the late 1990s.
I grew up in Ramsey, not too far outside of there, and I go and frequent Wyckoff, New Jersey, which supposedly where she lives. So it's a great county, a lot of good people there. But at the end of the day, she's kind of, look, Diana Rossini is a reporter. We get it. We understand the job. You work with the NFL. But she's talking down to the cop. Guess what? Do you want to see who I talked to?
Oh, come on. How's that work?
I broke the news about McDermott. Get real. Come on. See, I told you I saw when we went out to the Super Bowl, Rossini was in front of me. She was holding up the line trying to get the poundage under 70 pounds. She didn't want to pay the extra $50 on United back a couple of years ago. It was ridiculous. I didn't realize it was her until after we passed security. I go, come on, you can't pay the $50? Just go.
Look, and by the way, I don't know what she's getting pulled over for here, but it usually works when you get pulled
over. You know what? She was on the phone for 5 miles, Donnie.
Oh, what, 5 miles?
He tracked her under the underpass all the way through town, and her argument was she was breaking the Sean McDermott news. And she said, "What's your favorite team?"
Why wouldn't you just pull over at that point? Also, this is why we have Bluetooth and stuff. You can talk on the phone and do whatever you need to do. But if you're getting a big news like that, why would you still drive? What, you Turnpike, Parkway, Route 17, pull over to the side, pull over to the diner.
Well, that's what it is. She pulled over, and then the condescending part is she goes, "Are you a New York fan, Jets, Giants?" He goes, "No, I don't like either team." He goes, "I like the Vikings." She goes, "Oh, look about O'Connell. Look at what O'Connell said about 9, J.J. McCarthy." So she's talking down to the guy like she's some expert guru. Okay, all right. Yeah, go wheel. She's a wheel.
By the way, the football season is coming up. Can we get another vote in the chat box out there? Will Diana Rossini be a national reporter by the time football comes around again? What's she going to do? What is she actually going to do? Be a soccer mom?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know. Let me tell you. Maybe she work in Bergen County as a local reporter for the high schools.
It's true. Breaking stories.
Stories.
The head coaches would love her breaking stories. You want information, you know what you got to do to get that information. I'm just saying. There's a precedent out there at this point. Right now.
Yeah, there is a precedent. But again, who knows? We know a couple of networks that would probably take a shot on her just for,
Can we get her on this network? Why not? Big things aren't crossing lines. Exactly. We want the inside information. And by the way,
$50.
1 o'clock, Joe, just kicked off. Ivory Coast, Norway, 0-0, 3 minutes in. Any action happens there, chat box, you let me know. And if you don't let me know, I'll let the people know by keeping an eye on that situation here. But Major League Baseball, Joe, let's get into that and have some fun. And what happened yesterday? For me, Joe, I'm still on I lost a little bit yesterday, 0.39 units, no bad, $39. Just needed one of those RBI to come from the game. I thought we'd get the easiest RBI shots yesterday with the wind blowing out of Wrigley. It didn't happen for me. But still, I think it's when I've been tracking since maybe the 19th, something like that.
Yeah.
So today is the 30th. Up over 10 units, Joe, so still going well.
Good for you.
What about your night last night? What'd you do?
Well, I played two totals. I told you, over 8.5 in the Phillies game. I altered it to 10.5. They had 18 runs. I mean, I'm kicking myself because I thought it would be the Phillies that would break out for the 11 runs. It was Pirates are hot as a pistol. 9 runs and 11 runs in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
You know, I think that potentially can continue. But then I took the over in the Colorado game. I told you the first game of the series, they've been hanging 11.5s and 12s. They've been going dead under. Miami broke out in a big way last night. What'd they have? 17 runs. The problem that I'm kicking myself is that I should have won more. I put it in a parlay too with San Francisco, and that total was 9. And it was 5-1, and the Giants landed right on the number 5-4. I needed that game to get to 10.5, but I have a couple of plays today I like.
By the way, you know what's funny about this one here, Joe? Chat box. I love when random things pop up.
Yeah,
at Chris Carter, the Bloomfield Bengals, man. Haven't heard that in a while. And how about this? You ready for this? I knew somebody who went there, and they would sing this. BLOOMFIELD, Bloomfield Bengals. There you go.
Bloomfield and Belleville. Belleville was...
Bloomfield, that's Sopranos territory now we're talking.
Yeah, so Belleville, let me tell you, we lost the game to them 7-0. That cost us the States. 7-0 Friday night.
Who was over there? Was Tony watching? Was Uncle June watching that game over in Belleville?
But we needed that game to get into States, and we lost it 7-0 back in 1988. I'm still kicking myself to that day.
Was the field a mess? The
field was terrible. It was it was all dirt. It was hard. It wasn't even grass. It was borderline dirt and just terrible. But did you see the Mets last night? They're another team.
I love them.
They could be on my ticket tonight.
What are you jumping the shark here on my rundown right now? You're talking about the Mets. Mets are coming to lay your spot burning right now, Joe. They're only going to get flashback in here to yell at you and keep you in your place at this point. But last night, before we get to that Soto story, back this one up. Best baseball player I've ever seen in my lifetime. It's Shohei Ohtani, and it's not even close.
Come on.
Once again, last night, 2 of 5, 3 ribbies, a home run, hitting 297. He's the best hitter and the best pitcher. Nobody ever better in the history, Joe. And I go back way back to 1977. He's the best.
No. You think Shohei Ohtani is the best?
Who's better? Who's better? See, I'm
going to open up a can of worms now because
Carver's not here to bail you out. So come on.
I don't need Carver. I still go back to the days of the steroid era. I mean, Barry Bonds to me was the best all-around player.
Barry Bonds couldn't pitch to save his life.
Okay, but again, yes, he couldn't pitch. You're right, but we're just gonna make him the best all-around player ever. Better than all of the greats that have played this game, dating back before we were even born. Okay.
Ben Happ, Joey, or whatever those guys' name are. Jimmy Fox with 2 X's out here in the streets.
Jimmy Fox. Yeah. Babe Ruth.
Better than Babe Ruth. He'd light Babe Ruth up right now. Fire a fastball right at his ass. Pow. Sit down, pal. Best ever, Ohtani. Doing it big. By the way, the Dodgers 55-30. Did you know last night, Joe, they played the Athletics?
Yeah,
right?
10.5 was the
How
total.
do you do now? See, I'm going to preface this the way I view things. I like to watch the games, but sometimes I go out and walk the dog because I don't like to watch it live when some things, if I get second and third, I like to turn the TV off and I wait, have it to my watch. If that watch buzzes, I know good things happen. If the watch doesn't buzz, I think the internet's out and I can't get it. What the hell's going on? Why haven't they scored? The reason I brought this up here is when every once in a while, you have an RBI prop. Hey, look, Seiya Suzuki got it. Well, yeah, of course he did. Schwarber got it. Fantastic. Well, Joe, in a game last night and a game again today, Max Muncy. That thing buzzes with Max Muncy RBI. Who the hell was it? You look at that, Joe. What is them? 2 Max? It's not like 2 Dave Smiths. 2 Max Muncies in the same game. Muncy, the RBI. Which one? Max. Yeah, which one?
You got to watch the game cast,
Tommy.
So which one did you bet? Did you bet the Dodgers?
I didn't bet either one of them. I'm staying away from that nonsense.
I was, I'm mad at myself because that total was 10.5, and I said, that's light. The only reason why I didn't bet that game is because the Dodgers broke out on Sunday with a 10 or Saturday night with a 10-run performance against San Diego, and I said I don't think it could continue. They're going to the ashtray in Vegas over there. The small park. Hey, you know what?
I like
it. the Oakland was the ashtray, but and I didn't think they'd break out, and they just tattooed athletic pitching last night. I'm mad at myself.
All right, now what we're mad at is Joe finally gets to talk about his topics on the Mets and Juan Soto, who, by the way, Juan Soto is a great baseball player, but nothing hurts me more than a player that looks like Robbie Cano used to have the same thing with the New York Yankees. Like, he's so good, he just goes half speed, but sometimes looks like they just don't care. Like, to start that game off, you had I was going to say a humpback line drive to left field. That Soto's like, throw your glove at it. And it ends up in a little league home run, which the Mets end up losing that game 2-1. But when you're losing and you make that much money, that type of effort, man, just got to piss you off.
That's the problem.
Damn.
And we talk about these players. He's making $765 million. He's loafing around. The guy's loafing around. I mean, give me a break. Juan Soto, dive. Sacrifice a collarbone. Can you dive? You're making so much money. Try and win these games offensively, defensively.
Yeah.
Heck, I don't care. I'm not a big Met fan anymore. I mean, after that team, just what they did over the past, 5 or 6 seasons, I'm not all bought in. Baseball, to me, I love betting overs, but I don't have a vested interest. But you're one of the best players. You're getting paid for it. Can you at least show that you care? I mean, people are going out to watch this guy. He doesn't care.
They don't. Sometimes they just don't care at all, Joe. So let's get some of this Major League Baseball action for today. A couple spots that I think make some sense for me. We'll start 8:05 Eastern tonight, 9:07, 9:08 on the rotation. It's San Diego and it's Chicago. Sears, the lefty, going to take on Boyd, the lefty, on the mound, Joe. Moneyline percentages here. Of course, it's going to be heavily tilted there to Chicago. About 75% of the tickets coming in on them. They opened up around a $155 price, depending where you're shopping at, 155s, 150s, 160s there. Name it. But you always see the 11.5 when you see Wrigley Field. What's that mean? Temperatures are probably up and wind is blowing out to dead center field, which it is today. But yesterday, Joe, we only had a couple runs scored in that game. I thought it was the easiest one for me to probably pick up an RBI prop. Ended up getting none of those props. But here's what I like today. I got to focus here on some of the batters once again for RBI for the Chicago Cubs. If you look at the lineup, J.P. Sears, Joe, left-handed pitcher. His last, and again, not a lot of action out here. 19 batters, 25 total in the season, but he's a lefty. And some of these guys in the lineup are smacking left-handed pitching. You take a look at the Cubs here for me. Seiya Suzuki, last 30 at-bats against lefties, Joe, at a 348 ISO and a 423 weighted on-base percentage there. How about Dansby Swanson, right-handed batter, 27 at-bats over his last month here against left-handed pitching, a 280 ISO and a 330 weighted on-base percentage. Suzuki's only a plus 102 today. Swanson's a plus 148. Why, once again? Wind blowing out to dead center field. I'm going to go back to the Cubs game, Joe, which burned me yesterday.
Yeah, Donnie, it's a good look, but I told you, I only bet overs in the baseball, and here's what I'm concerned. I hope you get it.
Yep.
And you're right in the look and the breakdown about the lefties against regular pitching and starting pitching. So don't have a problem with that. The problem that I have from the total perspective is 53% of the Cubs games are going over. What is one of the worst teams over-wise this year? It's Arizona, dead last in the major leagues, and followed right up, 31 overall is San Diego. 56% of their games trend to the under. So
90 degrees.
Again, here's the problem. We talked about it yesterday. The lowest you could go pre-pitch in an alt market was 9.5. I did take it because my other partner, Mike Carver, they said wind blowing out, and every time he says that, it's a dead under. I love him, but so again, wind blowing out, I'm going to play it in-game as opposed to pre-pitch. I think you'll get it, but I can't bet it at 11.5 total-wise.
Yeah, got another one for you here, which I think makes a lot of sense, Joe. Hit my team total last night, the White Sox. Very nice play over 4.5, a plus 100 price. I'm going to go back to the Minnesota Twins, a team that's been very kind to me. They're taking on Houston in Houston, so you see the weather and the temperature. It doesn't matter. That roof is always closed. Going to be a contained environment here. Mike Burrows is on the mound. His last 100 batters, Joe, that he's faced, a 244 ISO power number and a 383 weighted on base percentage. So I look at the lineup, anticipated, because again, we're talking about this game at noontime. We don't have the official lineup, but if you take out Tristan Gray, supposed to bat 8th, and then Luke Keyshaw, who's going to bat 9th. Those guys have low ISO power numbers. The first 7 batters in the lineup today, Joe: Larnach, 183, Buxton, 260, Clemens, 333, Royce Lewis, 185, Josh Bell, 282, Brooks Lee, 367, and Victor Caratini, 327. I have 7+ batters in that lineup today. I'm going to take a flyer, and it's plus money too. Over 4.5 runs for the Minnesota Twins at a plus 112 price. Just going after Burrows in the spot here. I like the look of the lineup for the Twins. I think I can get some action here.
Well, I told you, best over team in major leagues is Minnesota at 62.5% to the over. So they didn't get it last night. That game landed right on the number 5-4. I think the pre-pitch total was right in the area of 9. But going back to the well, it's a pretty good look. I don't like that total today, but again, I'll root it for you. That's something I'll keep an eye out on, especially if they do start a little slow. Maybe I can get an adjusted number of potentially 7.5 or under that, maybe 6.5. Or better.
Yeah, roughly a pick 'em in that game across the board. Minus 110s, minus 115s as it plays out. Now, here's an environment that sometimes you get yourself in trouble too as well, right, Joe? Hey, Wrigley, wind's blowing out. That means it's automatic over. Or when people get caught up, oh, wind's blowing in. What, you can't hit singles and doubles and score runs here? Like, it goes sometimes counterproductive to what you're thinking. Miami's in town to take on Colorado. Warm weather conditions in Colorado, slight wind blowing in. But you know the numbers are always going to be inflated because it's the Colorado Rockies and they're at home. 11.5, just like you're seeing today at Wrigley. Favorite on the side, it's Miami. Opened up around a minus 145 price point. They're down about minus 135 at just about every outlet here. Moneyline numbers all going towards Miami with Perez on the mound. But here's the angle I'm going to play, and it's from a Miami perspective here, Joe. You take a look at, and if we bring up the pitchers here, Tanner Gordon's on the mound. It doesn't get any worse, Joe. Last 30 days, very minimal batters, only 17. On the season, 158. So let's just take a look at the season totality, and he's pitching here in Colorado. A 233 ISO and a weighted on base percentage of 384. Lefties are absolutely blasting this guy. So when you take a look at the lineup, Joe, for the Marlins today, Marcy, lefty. Stowers, lefty. Edwards is a switch hitter. He'll be a lefty. Conine, lefty. Cassie, lefty. Mack, lefty. Paulie, lefty. 7 out of 9 batters today that are lefties. And even in the lineup itself, 7 of the 9 batters above average ISOs and above average weighted on base percentages here over the past 30 against righties here. And it's expensive. It is. It's 5.5 with juice, Joe, of minus 135. I'm taking that anyway. I think Miami blows this kid away, Tanner Gordon, and I'm going to come away with 6+ runs for the Fish here tonight.
Donnie, your breakdown brings me on board because, again, when I told you I've been betting the Colorado games, especially first game of a series, and they tacked a high total, they've been typically trending to the under. Not last night. They had 17+ runs. Now you look at the total, it's 11.5. It's juiced heavily to the under at minus 120 across multiple books. So for me, I like the look because, again, if you follow Colorado, and I have to go back multiple games and series, but just from betting them and watching them, there hasn't been back-to-back games that have trended, to my knowledge, in recent weeks or even over the past month, in back-to-back games in Colorado where they've gone over. It's been an over or an under, and then the second or third game, we haven't seen the full series go through the over. I think in this series, we have the best shot. So I'm with you. I'm going to go over and made my card today, not as one of the picks because I gave it out yesterday, but I will be betting it in parlays over the 11.5, Donnie, so it's a good look.
There you go. Anything you like, Joe, on the card that I didn't mention today? Go ahead.
Yes. So the 2 totals that I am on, and you could have gotten a better price last night, but we're going to go to the Met game. That total last night was 7.5. It was juiced across multiple books in places at minus 124. We're seeing 8s in the market right now, Donnie. I like that. Interconference type of game, American League versus NL. I like the 8. I like the Mets. The fact that they lost that game 2-1. I think they break out, and the fact that Soto loafed, maybe he steps up. This lineup potentially could get, I believe, on both sides, maybe 10, 11 runs. Yeah. So give me the over in the Mets-Toronto game. And then if you watch the game in Fenway, we talk about Minnesota as being one of the highest over teams in baseball, being the highest. Second is the Nationals. They go on the road to Boston. This Boston team, Donnie, hot as a pistol. They broke out with 6 runs last night, won that game 6-3. That was right. I think it just inched over the 8.5 total. Tonight, I think they tattoo them. I think they break out 10+ runs. This game could be 14, 15 runs. You're seeing 8.5, 9s in the market. Give me over Washington and Red Sox tonight.
Double them up, double them up, double them up, people. Fun talking some Major League Baseball. And again, follow Joe at Go for the Two. Follow your boy DRS at Donnie Rightside. Follow the Crossing X Lines account out here on X. Whenever we have that information, I always tag that X account just in case you're not paying attention, and it goes out to the people and have some fun. You know I'm going to be cutting up some stuff for today as well. Time, Joe, to get to the trending section, something that we absolutely love. The World Cup. Bringing people together in more ways than one, Joe. You know when you get a lot of different fan bases together, a lot of different action, look at this. The World Cup is turning into an unexpected dating hotspot with Tinder matches up 60%. Tinder activity in host cities jumped by an average of 47%. Swiping all over the place, Joe. Hey, I'm in town. Croatia's here. Haiti's here. Whoever else is here, let's get together. Let's get to Brazil. Brazil.
Yeah, and Nate, I know Nate is a big fan too. Let me tell you,
is he swiping?
Right. I don't know if he doesn't have to swipe. I mean, right? I mean, isn't that the mantra?
I think he's which way is swipe right good or swipe left bad?
Swipe right is the good.
So Jeff's swiping left on the show right now since he's not here, probably, right? Hating on it.
Where's the Bumble? Who knows? Maybe Bumble is the official sponsor of
Grindr. Is Grindr up here during the World Cup?
That was the old days, wasn't it? Grindr.
Wow, I don't know.
You
been on Grindr? I don't know. I don't know too much about that stuff.
Donnie, I don't know. How about fitness singles? So you get some of the fitness singles. But I did see this story. And it was across multiple news outlets, in New Jersey here. But
it's wonderful. It's a wonderful story.
There are people making their weekends over this. Like a bunch of, guys and girls, hey, we're going to, party at East Rutherford, and that's it. I mean, play a little Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie got out of breath at the last concert. Did you see
saw that too, Kara. I mean, look, man, we're old at this point right now, which you can. We had a great question that we're going to be answering in that chat box shortly on this. Don't worry about it. I'm teasing it. The question at the end of the show is fantastic. We're going to have some fun together. You don't need to see it at this point. You're going to hear about it. But also, Joe, World Cup coming together, which means Freddie, the German plant that Jeff says and he can't stand, losing his mind after a loss, if you recognize it. By the way, that's Cane's right there. My daughter loves Cane's. Let me ask you about this.
Go ahead.
I don't mind a good chicken tender. It's a decent one. I do love their toast. Their fries, horrendous.
Yeah, I could tell right now. I'm not a fry guy. But, you know who has the best fries and they're not one of the top?
Go ahead.
Nathan's.
Yeah, okay.
Nathan's with those thick.
I'll get some cheese on those fries too at Nathan's.
Thick fries. Now, Nathan's isn't a household name anymore. But back in the day, Roy Rogers used to have the
Nathan's
best chicken.
coming up this weekend, Joe, ready to take over again with the 4th of July hot dog
Joey's
complex.
Chestnut.
Joey Chestnut. Joey around the block's my guy, man. I know that guy personally.
He must have acid reflux. He eats so much. I mean, come on. There's no way he's got like 10 bottles of Tums hanging around. I'm just saying.
But by the way, so is Freddie going home now? That guy, like Germany's done. He's not going to overstay his visa. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this: does he have an extra jersey hanging around like Brazil or Argentina that he could throw on?
By the way, like when you lose in the World Cup and get upset like that, I'm not even eating. So I'm not even getting a meal at that point. Like I have some devastated Eagles losses where I was zombified for a week back in the day.
I think I would be drinking. I don't know. Eating. Now, Cane's, when I was out in Louisiana, the Raisin Cane, it's good. It's good, but
I don't mind it. I don't mind.
It's the sauce that
everybody.
Everybody loves the sauce. Yeah. That's what it is. The dipping
Returning
sauce.
home for the guy. By the way, Joe, you sent me this one too, and I had to bring it up. Like we're talking a lot of El Tri is going to be absolutely off the wall tonight, rooting at Estadio Azteca down there as they take on Ecuador. But apparently, Joe, in the streets. You steal from, where Guadalajara, Mexican Batman is out there tying you up. Like he's the Joker or the Silver Surfer out there.
But here's what I want to know. So I saw the story. So they're looking to find the Mexican Batman, right?
Yes.
Is he wearing a uniform? Is he wearing the outfit?
He's got to be. Why would he be called Mexican Batman then? Was Batman tying people up? Was that his MO? I don't remember.
No.
Who would tie you up?
I want to know if does he have the Boy Wonder? Like, is the boy Boy Wonder?
Robin?
It could be.
Like, there was a picture of Batman and Robin on this show going around yesterday that got retweeted. Is that who it could be? Because I think you were Batman on that, and I was Robin on that picture.
You made that picture of us.
You know what you love about this, though? You get to look and say, the cops can't handle it. I'll handle it, Joe. A little vigilanteism down there in Mexico.
Yeah, well, the vigilantes back in the day, right? Now I watched The Equalizer with Denzel not too long ago. That was a great movie. He was the vigilante.
Mexican Batman,
right?
man.
Mexican. I would like to be on the ground and see the Mexican Batman. He duct tapes everybody to the goalpost.
Yeah, he's got to have help. Like, you can't get two people to say, stand there, I'm wrapping you around here, unless you're coming with like an AK-47 at your side, right? Like, how are you going to get two people to be taped up there by yourself?
I don't know. It's incredible. That's incredible.
Is the one guy on the left smiling? I can't even see. Like, smile, you know what I mean? I
don't know. That's a great story, though. You love that story.
Now, here's what you should do, Joe, right? You tape them to the bike and make the bike go fast, and there they go off into the ocean, no? Is that a better way to do it?
What,
right to the bottom?
Blocks?
Right to the bottom.
Cinder blocks.
Mulberry Street style. Send them off there at this point. But I thought that was a great story. But the Mexican Batman, while Mexico is going on a run, handling their own business in the streets. Now, this next one, Joe, hits personally for me. Because you saw the tweet this morning. I don't know if you did or not. But your boy in 1996 was on the same football field as John Cena.
I saw that.
My freshman year, we went up at the end of the season to take on Springfield. We got waxed in that game. But we had the wing team. I had a catch in that game as a freshman. I think I had like 8 catches my freshman year. Wasn't many, but we probably threw the ball 15 times anyway. Okay. But bring that picture back up, because the reason is not me playing football against John Cena. If you just look at this picture, like, take away the headline, would you ever know that was John Cena? Like,
no.
Ever?
No, he looks terrible. He looks emaciated. He looks
crazy.
Off the sauce. Yeah. I don't know. The TRT is obviously, he's not doing the D-ball anymore, the growth. No. But here's the other thing. This is part. He went for a hair transplant, Donnie.
Yes.
That's
now, where is he? He's in America, or does he go to Turkey? I hear a lot of people go to Turkey these days.
You go to Turkey. It's cheaper. I saw some of those.
How about Turkmenistan? Same thing or no? Turkey's different?
Donnie, I'm not a historian now. That would be for Jeff.
That's Nadu. Geo Nadu.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you want to talk look smacks and you want to talk stuff like that, bashing your face with a hammer. I would
get that done. Joe, if I don't really have issues with my hair, you don't have issues with your hair. We
Donnie,
got lucky on that.
You would not get that done. You would not get that. That is.
You would just go bald?
Look.
I'm flying to Turkey. I think I'm flying to Turkey. Anybody in the chat box, we flying to Turkey out here? I'm flying to Turkey.
I don't have that issue, thankfully. But let me just say, they put 1,000 pinholes in your head.
Yeah,
and your
I'm getting it done.
Did you see the downside? You see some of these guys with their head swells?
But the guys in Turkey do it right. Like, you can't go around to the corner guy. Like, you can't go to Joe's barber shop and say, I'm about to dot your head right now.
So what are you saying? You can't go to, like, in the city, the $1.99 pizza slice?
No, exactly. You got hey, massage $25 an hour. Like, that's good. You're going to get hemmed up in there. You know what I mean? Cheap massage. You're going to get hemmed up in there.
So that's it. So you have to go to the one 150 or more, right? You have to go to the top of the line.
You got to go to a high-end spot, so that's not getting rated at one point. But for me, I'm definitely going to Turkey.
I wouldn't want my head swelled like a bowling ball, Donnie.
But the after effects, though, like, the ladies love it. Like, hey, man, that guy's bald, not getting with him. Hey, that guy's got a good head of hair. Well, I'm getting with him.
But here's the thing now. The other report came out that men prefer guys with a belly as opposed to guys that look like John.
Good luck with the men finding other men. I don't care about that. I'm talking to women.
I said women prefer guys with a beer belly as opposed to John Cena.
Because the beer belly, like, hey, that guy's ripped over there. What's his pocket? He's got $1 in his pocket. That guy's got a beer belly over there. What's he look like? Well, he's got a couple good investments. This guy over here's got Bitcoin. He ain't going near him. This guy over here has got SpaceX. Like, that's where you're going, man.
There you go. Well, that's what it is. One guy's driving a Lambo. The other guy's driving a Pinto.
How about this one, Joe? Look at this. This is an MMA fight. I think it's Sean Strickland, I want to say. Okay. On the beach with the college kids.
The college kids took him down?
Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. Look at that, man.
The college
UFC fighters always working on their craft, is how I put that, Joe.
But is Strickland on top, or is the kid on the who took down who?
I'm going to assume Strickland got to be the guy in the gray, no? Not the teal?
I don't know. I can't tell. I got to
did he pummel him after? Was that like, a Make-A-Wish thing? Like, hey, kid, go take me down? Or was he like, you know what? This guy might be a college wrestler taking me down.
Not sure. I don't know. Yeah. I'll tell you. Well, there you go. What's this question that you're dying to
you ready for the questions now?
Yeah,
right?
give me the question.
We're going to hold, toughest schedules in the SEC. We'll get to that in a second here. I want to get to the question in the chat box because this is a good one here. Coach put this up. Has a host ever passed out on a show? Kyle puked, which I assume is my guy Kyle Proviance. One college show, a wife screamed in the background, and we heard babies and dogs. So the reason I wanted to bring this up, not me, but I'm telling you right now, I've done thousands of shows. Sometimes not feeling so well. Sometimes with Joe Lisi in the room with me. There was one time where we'll go back in the scenes on this. Like, we used to do live television where you had maybe a 2-3 minute break on breaks.
Right.
We ended one of these breaks on a show, and I wasn't feeling so good. So I went and got a couple pretzels here, ate them. I was like, man, I don't know if I feel good. Meanwhile, I had two co-hosts that heard me saying I didn't feel well and didn't say, Donnie, I'll take this solo segment for you. The show went live. 3, 2, 1, you're on, Donnie. And I'm talking. I cannot believe I made it through the 3-minute segment of talking before we got to break, because I had fight or flight. I'm going to drop right now, or I'm not going to drop right now. And I made it here. But there's Lisi laughing. They heard me basically saying, I don't feel so good. Like, yeah, well, handle that yourself. But that's
you
friends
look like
right there.
Mellow Yellow.
Yeah, that's friends.
You look like Mellow Yellow. Let me tell you, when I turned to you because he asked me the question, I kicked it to you, and you were like, nah, I'm checked out.
I couldn't even answer a question at that point. I had to slam like a Gatorade, and the company was worried I was going to drive home by myself. But to get back to the point, as host, there's been a lot of times, Joe, where that camera's been on where I haven't felt that good. Like, again, I'm not saying like I'm going to throw up, but like you get lightheaded out of nowhere. The lights hit you different here. It's like, you know what? I need some air, but you don't get air when you're live on air.
No, you don't. In some networks, you have a 2-minute break just to drink water and eat. And, when you do a 3 or 4-hour show, could be taxing. So, yes, I do remember that time. Yep. That happened a couple of years ago.
Have you ever had that? Like, again, because, again, we are live on camera. Like at home, like I can dip off the camera. But when you are in a studio, you can't hide.
Donnie, when we did the Super Bowl show, we all had COVID. We didn't know. Remember?
Yeah.
We were all
people
sick
showing
as a
up sick, send them home at this point. Now I think they're good to do the show, and that's what happens at that point.
We were sick as a dog back in the day, so that was incredible. It does happen, but that's why you have good friends and co-hosts to bail you out.
Absolutely. By the way, drawing the line section, we'll leave it here, Joe. Toughest schedules in the SEC, and also get Joe's take. And what about LSU? What do you got, Joe? Look at that. Toughest skeds.
Yeah, again, with new head coach Ryan Silverfield, KJ Jackson's an unbelievable quarterback and talent, but it's going to take them a couple of years to potentially get back to respectability, a difficult schedule. That's why they're 3 overall. You see the top 2, Texas and Oklahoma. I'll just say this. People have bashed Brad Venables for doing, they think, a mediocre job. I thought he did a fantastic job last year. You look at the 2 games on the road in the month of November. They go on the road to Tennessee with their backs against the wall. They win it. They win against Alabama in the first meeting in Tuscaloosa to get them into the college football playoff. They also had another quality win in South Carolina. Their total 7.5. I don't care about the schedule. I like Oklahoma and John Mateer to overexceed expectations. Texas, you want to be and play with the big boys. You have a big boy schedule. I'll just say this, Donnie. 5 games last year for Arch Manning on the road. He lost Ohio State. He lost Georgia. He lost another game in the swamp that you and I bet, Florida plus the 2.5. Those are 3 outright losses for Texas, right? Ohio State, Florida, and Georgia. They got blown out in Athens as a 5.5-point underdog. The other 2 against Kentucky and Miss State, they won in overtime and didn't cover. That's pathetic. You need a better effort, but you have a big schedule. Now you got to step up and obviously live up to expectations.
Get a little LSU action here, Joe. What are you thinking next year? National title, new coach. What do you got?
8.5 with Lane Kiffin, deserving. We know about the quarterback, Sam Levitt. Harlem, Berry, and Keaton Durham come back. Trey Des Green as well. Problem for me back in them big picture, and I need to see it before I believe it. Blake Baker and his defense with the likes of Harold Perkins and all those guys, they cannot stop a mobile quarterback. Marcel Reed, Trinidad Chambliss abuse them. They need to step up. I can't bet LSU this year, big picture, national championship until I see it. I'm a little tempered right now.
33rd minute, Joe. Ivory Coast, Norway, 0-0 right now, getting closer to that break here at the half. But that'll do it for the show on Crossing Lines for a Tuesday. Fantastic stuff. Energy high. Chat box Thank you. Absolutely spectacular. If you're watching on Twitter out here, love it. Rumble, Kick, whatever social media, hit the like, hit the retweet button, hit the subscribe button. We're growing every day. And the best part about it is, Joe, tomorrow we're going to have a little bit of a party on the air. Team USA in action tomorrow night, prime time. We're going to have free agent signings also with Aaron Torres, because you know a lot's going to go down in the NBA that we'll keep your eye on. And Dan Alexander tomorrow to talk a little U.S. soccer. Fantastic show. The people in the back did wonders today. Fantastic stuff popping up on the screen. When we asked for it, we got it, Joe. Building one day at a time. This is Crossing Lines, and we'll see you tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern.